Welcome to the Scene Podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Borak, joined by my brilliant, wonderful, and gorgeous editor-producer, KJ. KJ, how are you?
Just doing what all gorgeous people do, producing theater content for theater people. It's good to see you, Justin. Are you ready for this?
We have a wonderful episode for you guys today. I cannot wait to get to it. It's going to be an absolute blast. I always think I have more to say at the top of these episodes, but I don't. I'm just ready to get to the segments. So, KJ, let's get right into the show, baby.
Shows you should know.
All right, it's time for Shows You Should Know, the segment where I get to do my favorite thing in the world, tell you all about plays and musicals you might not have heard of, but need to consume ASAP. Let's get right into it. The first show I want to talk about is Just Great by Danny Stoller, a retelling of some book by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Crazy parties, high-end fashion, glorious homes, fame. Through a social media feed, high schooler Jason Caraway watches it all and wants it all. But it's not until Jason and his sister Nick are enrolled in the exclusive Dalton Prep that Jason has a chance to see the world of the elite up close. Suddenly, all of Jason's wildest dreams are within his reach, and his long-standing crush on it girl, Daisy Faye, doesn't ruin everything. Using F. Scott Fitzgerald's master classic novel as a springboard, Just Great is a biting look at social media, authenticity, and the ways we try to find self-worth in the modern world. Now look, I love when playwrights take a classic story that's been adapted for the stage a lot and do something new and special with it. That's exactly what Stoller does with this. And with the amount of high schools that have their students reading The Great Gatsby, this is an amazing play for any high school season. It's from play scripts, so it's totally appropriate for a high school season. And also, there's this I'm trying to think how to word it perfectly, but it's a really good way, I think, to have high schoolers, I think the best way to put it is I, Justin Borak, use my phone a heck of a lot. And after reading this play, it did make me get a little introspective about the amount that I'm on my phone instead of being in the real world, and how important life is through my phone compared to life in real life. And it's a really, really great thing, I think, to put into a high school. I love when play scripts, when people who write for them put subtle theses in their text underneath a lot of funny and great words and everything like that. I don't know. I think it's really, really, really a wonderful play with a great thesis and great subtle educational moments. There's a wonderful monologue that Nick, the sister of Jason, has at the end of the play. I'm going to read a little bit of it for you because I just love this monologue a lot, okay? Hi, my name is Nick Caraway, and I have something to say. Most of you probably have no idea who I am. You're probably thinking, who is this nobody? But I would rather be the loneliest nobody than the most connected somebody. I love that little piece. It's a lot longer of a monologue, but just that line, I would rather be the loneliest nobody than the most connected somebody, is someone comfortable with their own true self. And I think that's such a beautiful statement, and it's the thesis of the play, and it's a great one. So Just Great, a retelling of some book by F. Scott Fitzgerald by Danny Stoller. Check that one out. Next play I want to talk about is Sisters on the Ground by Max Posner. Martha was buried by all 6 of her sisters, including me. That spring, we started sleeping outdoors. We didn't go back inside. What with Papa, Harriet getting cholera, Beth got married, Hannah began bundling, Abigail got drunk, lying on the dirt, facing the sky, we started saying sentences to each other. This is a play about 6 sisters by Max Posner who have struggled with communication. And it's just truly the entirety of the play is these 6 sisters trying to learn how to talk to each other. It's a play that, one, takes 6 women and puts them center stage. So if you have a really solid group of women in your program, in your casting pool and whatever, this is an amazing play for it. It's also a really cool play that looks at text in a different way. It's really, really interesting. In Max Posner's making the play segment at the top of the play, he writes something really cool I'm going to read for you right now. Ready? The sisters are people who haven't communicated much, who don't have language. They've lived under dictatorial house rule. Martha, the oldest, was the sole conciliator. I'm bad at words. And now she's gone. So the sisters are learning about each other, discovering how to communicate with each other. It's a play that uses its dialogue to be about dialogue and the importance of communication. I think it's a great educational tool, but it's also, I love plays that it kind of reminds me of, what's the best role play that barely has any lines? Small Mouth Sounds, where it's like the play, it's about the text, and the lack of it is like a reason within the play. So if you're looking for an interesting play, something maybe hard to achieve, something that has a couple complicated things in it that will give you guys a lot to talk about in the rehearsal room, and you also have a lot of women in your program and your casting pool that you want to feature, Sisters on the Ground is a great choice. The final play I want to talk about is a play called Technical Difficulties. It's a collection of plays that started as online one-acts during COVID, right? And it's now become this like themed collection that comes out every like year or two, with amazing playwrights and short scripts that fit into every theater. That's like the point, is that they write all these scripts that are like these short plays that anybody could do, and it's so cool. Let's see, there's plays for high schoolers, colleges, regional theaters, everything. I recently read volume 3 of Technical Difficulties that just came out. Here are a couple of my favorites within. Alexander the Great by Anna Ziegler. Alexander the Great consults 2 of his most loyal soldiers about the decision to slow down and stop all the conquering. Julie, a playwright, consults her 6-year-old son about writing a play about Alexander the Great. Whose ideas will prevail? I love this play. I like when playwrights do something that like kind of plays with like a historical fact and also like stays in the contemporary. Like I like when they go back and forth. It kind of reminds me of a very comedic Prayers for the French Republic, where like you're shifting between timelines. So like that's very fun. The First Crack by Whitney White. On a phone call, mother and daughter, Lene and Denise, discuss cooking, loneliness, and a recent phenomenon. All over the world, black women have started transforming into wolves. This play was crazy. This play was awesome. It was so cool. It was an amazing. I love simple plays that have like conversation, and like there's like a weird rule within this world that they just like drop at the beginning and you just have to like agree and accept and move on with. And that's exactly what this is. The First Crack, Whitney White, so good. And then Talking Peace by Franz Luz Benson. A virtual healing circle comes undone when an outsider finds her way in, forcing the 5 women to deconstruct what it means to be black, BIPOC, and bound by sisterhood. It's another amazing play that is simple to produce but has such poignant dialogue about being a black, a BIPOC person in our world right now. It's so interesting. Technical Difficulties is, I think, one of the greatest like short play anthologies. It's new, it's fresh, it's coming out. It kind of, for me, this is a really big statement. It kind of takes place for the Humana Festival, as the Humana Festival is on this hiatus. Technical Difficulties has been putting out really cool pieces as well, I think. So Technical Difficulties, the theater collections, specifically volume 3 for me, but the last couple, I haven't read 1. I've read part of 2. But Technical Difficulties, Sisters on the Ground by Max Posner, and Just Great by Danny Stoller. Check out those plays. Those are the shows you should know. Boom.
Theater in a minute.
That's right. It's time for Theater in a Minute, where I explain something from theater past, present, or future as quickly as my brain lets me. Today's topic is Rodgers and Hammersteins. Okay, Jay, let's get to it. Start the clock in 3, 2, 1. Richard Rodgers, born in 1902, and Oscar Hammerstein II, born in 1895, were an iconic duo in American musical theater history. Known for their groundbreaking contributions to the genre, Rodgers was a composer, Hammerstein was the lyricist and librettist, right? Okay. Their partnership began in the early 1940s, resulting in a ton of like highly successful, influential musicals that transformed the landscape of Broadway. Their works are characterized by memorable melodies, sophisticated lyrics, and stories that often tackle social issues that people were like afraid to take on at the time. One of their most famous contributions, and I mean like it's Rodgers and Hammerstein, so they have a ton, but I think one of the most important things they ever made was Oklahoma in 1943. It's one of the, I mean, it's considered to a lot of people the first musical ever. I think there's like an argument against that, but it's the first piece of theater that seamlessly blended like song, dance, and like narrative that all advance the plot. Like the song and the dance and the narrative advance the plot together as like one like cohesive unit, right? Next up, they wrote Carousel, 1945, explored like really complex themes about redemption, about forgiveness, about about domestic abuse, all of that stuff. South Pacific, 1949, looked into racial prejudice and complexities of love during like the war. The King and I, 1951. Sound of Music, 1959. I mean, Sound of Music explored like Nazi occupied Austria in 1959. They did some of the most like brilliant musical theater, some of the stuff that like I think we see contemporary playwrights taking on these really, really cool things today, like these really important topics that we feel need to be talked about. In the 1940s and 50s, Rodgers and Hammerstein, which maybe are looked at now as like a classic musical theater duo, were kind of doing what the like Lynn Nottages, the Annie Bakers, the Joshua Harmons are doing today. They took on things that people were kind of afraid to talk about, and they put them on the stage. I think that's so interesting and cool, and something that we have to look back, respect, and even maybe dive into. I'm so excited. I know it is 20 years from now, but I'm making a call today that in 2043, Oklahoma will become public domain, and there will be a lot of very cool pieces based on Oklahoma. And I can tell you that right now, because in 2043, I will have written something because Oklahoma is going into the public domain. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I think that's awesome. And I think it's like one of the most important shows in musical theater history. So that's Rodgers and Hammerstein. I hope you learned something. To the next segment.
Playdate with Play to Z.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Playdate with Play to Z. I'm Justin, and I'm joined by my best friend and theater collaborator, Erika Kuhn. Erika, how are you?
I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad.
Thank you, KJ, for getting us into this segment. If you guys don't know, Playdate with Play to Z is a rotating segment we do on the Scene podcast where I do a really overly, like, really exciting planned segment. Do you want to turn it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
You're too loud.
I'm too loud? Here, I got you. Let me do this.
It would have been set up properly, but if you don't already know from listening,
well,
the premise of this is that Justin bamboozles me every single time into thinking that I'm doing something else. I totally fell for it today.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Is that better? Okay.
Oh my God, I forgot that you did this today.
I know, it's been a minute.
I'm sorry. You can
So,
finish your introduction.
of course, Playdate with Play to Z is a segment where I bring Erika on. We have a really good pre-planned segment where we both kind of prepped for. I've been working on this segment, this concept, for about 3 weeks now. It's been a minute. Erika, you did all your prep work? You feel good about today?
I did the prep work of getting tricked and
Yeah.
fooled.
Yeah, Playdate with Play to Z is where I trick Erika into getting on the mic. This morning, I told her we had an episode of our podcast, Play to Z, go out today, and I rushed into the living room.
You did, you rushed.
I rushed into the living room, and I looked really serious, and I was like, hey, I have to fix something really quick on the episode. I have to like go edit like internally. Can you come back here and fix it? Little does she know, you can't really edit an episode when it's already been posted.
Also, I don't know how to do anything.
Exactly. So I tricked her.
I'm like, oh my God. He's like, what are you working on? Can you put it down? I'm like, yes, I can put it down. I'm like,
It was really, really cool of her.
You put me in the wrong seat.
I did
you're
because
sitting in my seat.
I sit in her seat when I'm recording by myself because it's at my desk.
Yeah, that honestly, that was what made me sure that you weren't going to cold start me. Because I'm like, you wouldn't give me the bad chair.
No way.
The bad headphones.
No way. But we're only going to be on for a couple minutes. So Playdate with Play to Z is when I bring her on and surprise her, and she has no idea what's going on. So today's Playdate, I have a fun game for us.
Okay.
I have 5 different people. So if you know Erika, which you guys probably know of her through Play to Z, but you don't know her personally. If you know Erika like I do, so many people at our school come up to her and ask her for a monologue, ask her for plays to read. And I mean,
yesterday.
It
happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 5 different people, and I want you as quickly as you can to give the perfect monologue, playwright play that you want them to read.
Well, now I wish I was prepared.
You're not. That's the whole point of this segment, is that you're not.
God.
That's the whole point.
Okay.
Wait, let me make sure I'm pulled up. Okay, we're good. All right. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give you it's a very basic ask. I'm sorry if it's loud.
It's so loud.
I know, that's what I
Can I say
like.
something? I worry about your ears because these are usually.
Those are my headphones.
You are jamming out constantly.
I know. I like it
Crazy.
loud. I like it loud on my
All
ears.
right, let's do it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. A woman in her 50s.
Ooh,
That's simple.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So I'm excited for this one because there are a lot of roles I'm not old enough to play.
That's
yet.
what I
I'm
thought
in
you were
my
gonna like
20s,
about this
right?
one. Yeah.
And I think I have a plus minus 5 years to my type.
Yeah.
But,
You can rock up into the 30s maybe, but you can't. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
50s roles that you love that you can't play yet.
no.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of my favorite plays, I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast, but I love The Clean House.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 3 women in The Clean House who are up in that age group. You got, The Sound Inside by Adam Rapp. Oh my gosh. And that play's constructed of monologues, so it's
Yeah.
awesome. And then what was the one that we saw at Dabama It was The Other Place.
The Other Place.
The Other Place.
Yes.
So good.
The Thin Place too has some good
The Thin
monologues.
Place also has good stuff. Look,
Yeah.
if you're a woman here's the thing. If you're a woman in your 30s, 40s, and you're like, I'm not booking a lot, I'm in between types, I'm not the girl next door, I'm not a mother, right? Whatever. Hold out.
Yeah.
Because there's some good stuff that
There's
I'm
some good
excited
stuff coming.
to age into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say The Roommate too.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorites of all time.
One of your favorites.
Oh, that annoys me that you remember.
The Roommate by Jen Silverman.
That's what happens when you cold start your roommate.
Okay, next one. Young woman auditioning for colleges.
Oh my gosh, the world's your oyster.
The world's your oyster.
The world's your oyster.
Where would you have people go look? You don't even need to give like
Yeah.
specific. Yeah, like what plays would you have them
So
start looking?
oddly enough, it's this weird situation
Even
where-
playwrights too.
Yeah, because the world is your oyster, there are some things that are just really well known and they get overdone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always encourage, especially a young woman, there's so many people, probably of your type, your age group, it's a saturated part of the market, right?
Yeah.
So I would always suggest that you go a little bit weirder, a little bit further, read plays that you might not assume they're going to have parts for you in. So like Stage Kiss, which is also by Sarah Roll, has the role of that teenage daughter. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
give this monologue out like a lot. It's maybe starting to get overdone. I've now seen other people doing it. The daughter, who is not necessarily like one of the main characters, very supporting, has this phenomenal comedic monologue about how she doesn't understand how good actors could hook up with bad actors.
Oh yeah.
And it's like her only monologue. She's very in and out in that play. But that's one where when people are thinking about that play, they're not thinking about a teenage girl. Right? So going into kind of the deeper cuts of playwrights who maybe aren't typically writing for that category, I feel like John Proctor as the villain is probably about to be overdone. But especially if you are like 18 years old, if you're traditional
Killer
student going
monologues
towards
in there.
colleges, like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so many options. It's like actually hard to pin them down. Then there's all sorts of like, you could go into less contemporary ones, right? You could go into like your Chekhovs and stuff like that. You could pull Nina, you could pull Masha, you could pull all. The world's your oyster, honestly, with this one. The issue is that there's too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Sorry, I'm turning down your volume as I go.
I got more excited and I got louder.
Is it still loud?
No, I can't hear myself at all now.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
good.
good. Okay. Ready? I got another one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. A man in his 20s
Okay.
auditioning for a contemporary straight play.
Okay, so a man in your 20s. I know a lot of people go there, but Annie Baker is someone who
Smart call. The Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens. Again, probably starting to get overdone, but there's across our canon many different young men of that age range, of different races, different backgrounds, stuff like that. So that's definitely something to look into.
Oh yeah. I think James Imes writes really good young men too.
So good.
Lots of young
James Imes,
men.
go check it all out. I mean, young men, it's kind of the counterpart to young
there's a
women.
lot of-
I
there's a
feel
lot of
like,
stuff.
and maybe I'm biased because I was pulling material from that category for the past many years. I feel like there's a lot of things out there. You just have to find something and then ask the people you know, and you can ask, is this overdone?
Yeah.
Because if you're the best Aliens guy from Andy Baker ever,
Yeah.
but they've seen 18 before you, you're going to lose your luster, right? So again, when you're in that,
You gotta find what that.
you're in that sweet spot. The canon loves like young lovers, right? So.
A man in his 20s auditioning for contemporary might want to look into new play exchange.
Oh my gosh.
That might be the move.
1000%. I mean, here's the thing, and you have this happen all the time. I've had it happen. If you have a friend who's a playwright or who has up and coming work, I mean, pull something from their material.
Yeah.
Because I cannot tell you the amount of time someone at an audition, even if I didn't book it, has been like, hey, what was that from? Like, people will write it down. They're very
Yeah.
excited about new work. And so, yeah, consider that
Yeah,
always,
absolutely.
for sure.
All right, I got two more for you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you ready? All right. Anyone looking for a not overdone pick for an audition for a theater classic? So think someone
not overdone
someone
classic.
is like, "Hey, I have an audition for Death of a Salesman
Yes.
in a week.
Okay.
What is something I can go into the room and still have the vibe, but it's not an overdone pick, you think?
Okay, so theater classic, but not classical theater.
It can be classical theater if it's
Okay.
not overdone. Just something not overdone.
I mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
someone ruffle some feathers. Go look at any female identifying playwright from that era.
Boom, dude.
So, like, a lot of the greats back then were like white American men writing for white American
Yeah,
families.
100%.
If you can just and honestly, like, we know systemically why those are the people that we still focus on
Yeah.
and study in schools. Go find their contemporaries.
Oh yeah.
Go find their contemporaries that are gender diverse, that are black, that were queer, whatever. Go find those people. It might be harder to find their text because it's not as saturated in our libraries and stuff like that. Go check that out. Even just like pulling like a Lillian Hellman play that doesn't get done as much, right?
Yeah.
Because some people did find success in our household names, but maybe not their entire
Yeah.
breadth of work. I would say that. And then I thought for a second you were talking about classical texts like Shakespeare and whatnot. I'm working on a Book of Will right now.
Yeah.
So I've been doing all my little actor dramaturgy and whatnot. There's a ton of plays that were rumored to be written by Shakespeare, or folks now, researchers believe that they were written in part by Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Those plays have tons of monologues in them that just don't get done because they're speculated on.
Yeah.
So it's not Two Gentlemen of Verona. It's I can't remember the name of it because I was cold started. But there's tons of monologues, particularly for women, that are like tucked away and hidden in those that no one knows about because they don't technically count in like the folio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Finally, Erika,
Yeah, Justin.
I want you to blow up your spot.
You want me to give one away?
I want you to give one of your.
That's so
I want you to
mean.
blow.
That's
I want
really messed
someone
up.
comes up to you.
Okay.
They have big puppy dog eyes.
They mean
They
it.
say, Erika, I need you to tell me one of your favorite monologues to do.
This sucks.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're like, good morning. I'd like you to be a martyr.
I chose
now
violence.
as a trap.
You don't have to actually blow up your spot,
No,
but what's
I can do this.
yeah, you can do it. I think without actually blowing up your spot.
I mean, I do it a lot on our
I was gonna say
podcast,
you do
Plays
blow it a
Inc.
lot. You
Yeah.
blow it up a lot on
And I do
Plays
it.
Inc.
I do it partially as a challenge to myself because I think the trap for like a lot of actors, especially younger actors, is like you get in your groove of like your book of 5 that you
Yeah.
have, and then it's like, why am I doing something I picked up in like 2017? I shouldn't be doing that, right? Okay.
I'm excited.
There's a play called Boy Gets Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, it's that Rebecca Gilman, Teresa Rebecca, that always trips me up. I think it's Rebecca Gilman.
Yeah.
And here's how I'm actually blowing up my spot.
Yeah.
There's 2 versions of the play that got published slightly differently.
Whoa.
I tried to write a paper about it once. I don't know that I succeeded because I was searching for any evidence I could find, right? The play is about a woman, a young journalist who gets stalked after she goes on one date with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has great monologues with her male coworkers, with the police officer. And there's one version of the play where the police officer is a little more empathetic, where she has these certain types of monologues. And they're classic, early 2000s, chunky hamburger monologues, okay?
Yeah.
The newer edition, which I think is only 1 or 2 years later, if you track it down, and I have, both versions.
Yeah.
Slightly different monologues.
Oh.
Yeah, slightly different, but still thematically gorgeous. And I've had
That's
a very
sick.
high batting average with auditions with them. They're very good.
That's good.
I would say woman in your, you could push it to all 20s, but late 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. You made it through your play date. Do you want to know what your reward is?
What's my reward?
I have a suggestion for monologues.
Oh, wow.
So I want you to say right now, Justin,
Okay.
I'm a person in my 20s and I'm looking for like a good black comedy contemporary monologue that no one's really doing right now. Say
Oh,
that.
so I get to ask
Yeah,
you that
you asked
very
me that.
specific
It's a very
one?
specific question.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't be prepared for this, I'd hope.
I'm not.
Perfect.
Yeah, you just threw
Justin,
me off.
I'm looking for a comedy for someone in their 20s. Think black comedy.
Black comedy.
I don't want it to be overdone.
Okay, not overdone?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have New Play Exchange?
Absolutely. I'm a very smart woman.
Okay, so what I would say is I want you to go on a New Play Exchange. I want you to type in the name under people Erika Kuhn.
Oh my god.
And there's a play on there called Kill the Bird. This is your reward. Seriously,
So it is a reward.
I do want to say very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Erika wrote a play that premiered earlier in the year based on a grant from the Broadway Licensing New Works grant called Kill the Bird. It has 3 characters in it: a girl named Jill, a boy named Jack, and then a human playing a bird. This play has so many good black comedy, female, think like Claire Barron core, like monologues, like so many good monologues for young women, so many good monologues for women just like trying to get out the door, like mourning and grieving. It's really, really funny while it's really, really dark and sad. It makes you cry as much as it makes you laugh. Such good monologues. I played Jack. Jack is the play's about Jill, but even Jack, the smaller character, has like a couple really, really solid monologues, especially later in the play. And on top of all of that, if you're in scene study and you're like, I'm looking for an absurdist scene I want to do or something like that, and you have a person in your cohort that is weird and wants to do something weird,
Real physical
there is
mover.
great scene. Basically, the play cuts between scenes of Jack and Jill talking in the house, talking about mourning and grieving and Jill's life, and then scenes between Jill and her bird, the bird, who can only say lines that are repeated by Jill throughout the play. It is brilliant. It's so good. I'd be surprised because we shout Kill the Bird out every Play Dizzy episode. I'd be surprised if someone hasn't brought a Kill the Bird monologue into a classroom before.
I know that so folks on our cohort at our grad program all have to teach like acting 102 and stuff like that. And I didn't know this, but apparently some of their students have been pulling scenes from the play.
That's awesome.
And they've been doing them in class, which I'm like, oh, I wish I would have known. I would have gone and seen those.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah.
That's very, very, very cool. Liz is dropping off coffee for us right now. No, it's fine.
Justin Sneaky is recording.
I sneaky recorded her really quick. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out Kill the Bird as your reward for jumping onto the scene.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, absolutely, to be bamboozled and tricked once again by you.
And can I say something?
Yeah.
It's going to happen again and you'll never know when.
Honestly, it's been a while. I know more now.
Yeah, you should always be
better watch your
prepared.
back.
And you should always be prepared.
I'll be ready.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Scene Podcast. Again, I'm Justin Borak. Check me out on Instagram at Justin Borak. Follow me on TikTok for a bunch of theater content over there at Mediocre Jokes. Oh, gosh. I should know that way quicker. Also, make sure you go check out the Scene News on TikTok. That's our TikTok account. I think we're going to be starting to post videos at some point soon, which is really, really exciting. So go check out the Scene's Instagram or TikTok, because we have one now. That's very exciting. I want to thank our team. I want to thank everyone on the team over at The Scene. Thank you so much, Leah, for helping put together interviews and all of that and helping us coordinate a lot of stuff. She's an amazing addition to the team, and we have so many cool interviews coming out very, very soon. I cannot wait for you to listen to them. I want to thank my brilliant bestie, the producer, editor extraordinaire, KJ. KJ, you are a light in a dark tunnel. I feel like I should start ending these episodes by complimenting KJ more and more lovingly, because he's the best. I love KJ. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast this week. Make sure you go see theater. Let us know what you're seeing, because we love to hear it. Make sure you subscribe to the Scene newsletter. So dope. And yeah, I'll see you next week for a very fun episode. But until then, I will end this with the 2 words I end every episode with. The 2 words that are dreaded by every theater teacher, but is said by every theater student at least once in their life. And scene.
The Scene Podcast is made possible by our host, Justin Borak, our co-producers, Leah Barker and KJ Lampar, and our executive producer, Zach Dulli. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts to stay up to date with our latest theater antics and exclusive interviews. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you again next time.